Start the project by entering the client's address into the address bar. Then click enter and wait for a second to load. Then select the house you want to work in. Usually the house would be in center, but here as a demonstrative purposes, I'm selecting a house that has no solar on it. Once that is done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for the project to load, and we will go into the design tab on the total, and we're going to select 2D here as our image source. So now we have the house that we want to work with. Let's put it in center and zoom in. Here we are able to see different tabs that do different things. So first panels, then inverter, then batteries, components, pricings, and intensive. So we're going to start off with the panel section where we're going to select the panels we want to work with. So for this example, let's use Zinco 475. So we're going to type in Zinco 475 on the top, and then we're going to wait, and there we're going to select the option that is we are using. So then start off by in putting the panels there on the roof, and then we're going to move the panels around a bit that suits our needs. We're going to always try to avoid the edge as close as possible because we have to leave at least a bit of gap from the edge to the panels to begin with. So we're going to start off the panels by installing them on the western side, northwest, and then we're going to move the panels around a bit so that it looks really good, so the best way possible. So once we install a first set of panels to begin with on the northwest, then we're going to install a few panels on the northern side. So we're going to select the panels, rotate them, and move them around a bit. We'll always try to fix the azimuth as close as possible. Then we're gonna place the panels. Then here what I'm doing is I'm just changing the image so that the image of the roof is much more clearer and we can see the obstacles a bit better. We're gonna move around the panels, and so that like the new image matches the panel placement. See, we're fixing the azimuth again so that the panels are basically parallel with the roof edges. And then we're gonna install a few more panels to make it a 13.3. So what I was doing here is selecting the panels and then installing the new panels so that the new panels are basically the same as the panels previously. See, I selected and then I added the panels so that the new panels basically face the same direction as the previous ones. So once that is done, I'm seeing like 22 panels there, but I can do a bit more install a few more panels here. So what I'm doing is just adjusting the image, seeing what looks the best, and here I'm just playing around with the panel placements to see which one looks the best so that the curb appeal of the customer stays as much as possible basically. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the inverter. So from the inverter tab, I'm going to select it. Let's just use the General Electric 10 kilowatt inverter. So I'm going to type in the model number. And here comes the fuel list. So now first of all, see the inverter details there. So it's a single phase, and see it's a single phase 3 MPPT inverter. So this is the one we're going to use. And on the bottom, it's a three phase 2 MPPT inverter. So we're not going to use that. We're going to use a single phase because the customer has a single phase meter at his house. So now we're going to do the strings. So each string can handle maximum 12 panels on single phase. So on first, we're going to use 10 on string 1, MPPT 1, and then we're going to do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on MPPT2. And on MPPT3, we're just gonna do 6 panels to round it up. Now, one thing to be clear here, this is not the exact way how the installers will do the strings, but we're doing it here so that we have a general idea of how the string management works, and if the design is viable, then we're going to select the components. So here we use Titan kits. So first we're gonna so we use two types of kits, Titan tile and Titan tin. So first we see the Titan tile kit. So once we hit Titan tile, it's gonna pop up. See the second one, 6 panel kit, but here we're using it on a tin roof. So let's just type in Titan tin and see solar 6 panel kit. Select that. So here, so each of the kits can install 6 panels. So since we're using 28 panels, so we're gonna use like a total of 5. So 5 times 6, so 30 panels. So now I'm just doing a bit of calculation over the top, and I'm gonna change it to 5. So we're gonna total use 5 to 6 panel Titan tile kits. And then for the rails, I'm just gonna type in Titan rail, and we're going to use the 4.2 meter rail. So each rail can hold 2 panels. So we're going to total use 14 uh, Titan rails here. So that makes the total number of to 28. And for the now, lastly, for the price, let's just give it a second to finish the calculations. Oh, lastly, we're gonna then see if the customer is on Endeavor or Allsgrid. Depending on which the grid is, you have to use a consumption monitor or an export limiter. Basically, those are the same thing to basically export limited system. So now I'm going to add the consumption monitor or export limiter, whichever one you want to call. And now for the price, we're going to select, first, we're going to see how much intense incentive the client's going to get. So what we're going to do is add the incentive amount to the total amount, so to the total price of the system. So let's say for here, the incentive is 4,800 and something. Let me just double check. So the incentive here is, yeah, it's 4,800 and something. So let's just say the total cost of the system is $10,000. So what we're going to do is enter price manually and basically include the total amount of rebate that the customer is going to get to the total price, and see then the final price. The Open Solar calculates it to $10,000. Then we're going to add the customer details here, first and last name, the phone number. Let's just do something. Lastly, the email. And then we're going to hit save. Then we're going to change the consumption to annual bill. So the annual bill, let's say, is $4,000. So $1,000 a quarter. Then we're going to head into advanced setting and configure usage profile. And in the usage profile, we're going to select mostly day on both weekdays and weekends. And then we're going to select the tariff. So we know that this is a residential property, so we're gonna use residential so that no business tariffs pop up. So we're gonna select the latest one. So as the customers in Endeavor zone, we're gonna see all the tariffs pop up from Endeavor. So we're gonna use the latest one that is proposed in the earliest. So in this case, we're gonna select the N73, which was announced last year, and that is the latest one as of now in terms of Endeavor. So we're gonna hit select on the N73 one. Let's do the calculation. We're gonna just recenter the house on the center so that it looks good on the proposal. Let that finish in, and then we're gonna save it. Now, as this is the cash option, we're just gonna keep the bank transfer option, and we're gonna delete the cash option there. We just select the one option, that is the bank transfer. Save that. And then we're gonna go to the online proposal to view our proposal. It takes a minute to finish all the calculations, but we just have to wait here for a second for that to be finished. See here the savings numbers, the tariff that we selected. Now, see the calculation is all finished. We can see the total price there up on the top. And then we go down, we see everything is okay or not. Now, here is the thing that we forgot. Number one is we did not add the export limit, and we have to change the self-consumption to 30%. So as it's an endeavor zone, we're gonna do the export limit at 5 kilowatt and manually tell Open Solar that self-consumption would be at 30%. So let that calculation be finished. We'll just wait for a second. That is done. So we save that and then go to the online proposal once again. Now we wait for a bit. See, now the self-consumption is on 30%. The export to the grid is 60%, and the export limit is 10%. So the 10% is automatically calculated by Open Solar depending on the bill, customer's bill, and his usage. So that is not something that we can control. But yeah, we're gonna leave the self-consumption at 30% max because that is the maximum realistically someone can self-consume. So let's just give it a second to finish do all the calculation, and it is done. So on top, we are able to see everything, and basically the Open Solar proposal is finished. Then you can just send the proposal to the customer and be done with it. Congratulations, you just created your first proposal.